Hey, it worked. All right. Was worried I wouldn't remember how to do this. Haven't live streamed in a while. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me all right. Can you hear me? Let me know in the chat room if you can hear the sound of my voice. Can you hear me? Let me know. You sound good. Okay, cool. Hey, Deluxe Man. Or just Alex. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, welcome back to live streams. I had to stop doing these over the summer because at the time I just wasn't feeling well, which I think was pretty obvious if you watched them. And to be honest, I'm still not feeling all that great. I'm still sick from whatever I caught back in June. Last round of meds were kind of semi-effective. It kind of took the edge off. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I figured this would be easier because of the release schedule for these the Marvel show episodes, or at least for WandaVision. It's coming out on Fridays, and of course Batwoman starts up again tomorrow. God help me, and considering the time it takes me to do a review, there would be some overlap there, and I'd probably have to push Batwoman releases back to Thursday, which I didn't want to do. I figured this would be easier, at least until I see what kind of show this is. So that's what we're going to do. So I will give you guys my thoughts on WandaVision, which dropped its first 2 episodes yesterday. And then at the end, we can do comments and super chats and all that good stuff. So, yeah. All right. And I just remembered I left the heat on, so I'm going to be sweating my ass off by the end of this thing. Oh, well. Okay. Yeah, so, fair warning, I'm going to spoil everything about this show. 'Cause that's just how it's just how I was taking notes, just writing down everything. So this is your spoiler warning. If you don't want to know what happens in the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, hit the mute button. Because I'm going to spoil everything that happened. Alright. So, anyway. Up until now, all the Marvel movies and shows have tended to follow a certain formula. They've all been very tonally consistent. There wasn't a whole lot of experimentation going on outside of the Netflix shows. And I guess you couldn't really blame them for that because the formula worked. But when everything they do is from the same mold, after a while you kind of start to want them to try something different just for variety's sake. So that's what the appeal of WandaVision was. It looked different from everything else they'd done. Whether that turns out to be a good thing or a bad thing is still up in the air. But say what you will about it, they're trying something new with this show, and there's a big curiosity factor about that. I mean, how well it's going to work, I'm not sure yet, but a little more experimentation at this stage of the game isn't going to kill them. The last time they tried that, we got Daredevil. #save Daredevil. WandaVision didn't grab me right out of the gate like Daredevil did, I will admit, but I am intrigued, at least. So, episode 1. Well, if you saw the trailers, you kind of know what they're going for here. It's unclear what the purpose of it all is, but they're doing a riff on various old-timey sitcoms from like the 1950s and 60s and stuff. And episode 1 is their take on the Dick Van Dyke Show, of all things. So Wanda and Vision are newlyweds, and they're moving into a new house in a new neighborhood, and the whole thing looks very much like a 1950s sitcom. You got the old school aspect ratio, it's all in black and white, and you can tell Elizabeth Olsen is having a lot of fun with this because she's really committing to the bit. Like, she sounds like a 1950s housewife. I mean, you go back and watch like old episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show or something. It's like, yeah, she definitely did her homework. Yeah, so she's she's definitely having fun here. And pretty quickly you get a hint that all is not what it appears to be. Like, there's a date on the calendar marked with a little heart. And this date is significant somehow, but neither of them know why. So immediately you see that their memories have been screwed with. Is it our anniversary? I don't know. By the way, when is our anniversary? Don't know that either. So in addition to them being stuck in this weird sitcom bubble, their minds are being messed with. We don't know how or by whom. And this is an interesting setup, but the problem is, it's the only clue we get for a while. Most of the episode is just them doing a riff on the Dick Van Dyke Show. And it's actually really well done, but the charm wears thin before too long because it's not clear where it's all going or if it's actually going anywhere. Like I said, there is a curiosity factor, but if they're just doing like a Dick Van Dyke episode with like a little hint here, a little hint there of Marvel stuff, that's not going to take you very far. But we'll get to that. So anyway, Vision goes to work, and he finds out that the heart on the calendar signifies dinner with his boss, Mr. Hart. Apparently, this is something new employees do. They invite the boss and his wife over for dinner. And it's very important because the last guy who didn't impress the boss over dinner got fired. So meanwhile, we go back to Wanda, who is meeting the neighbor lady, and they think the date with the heart means some type of romantic encounter, so they start planning that. But then Vision calls Wanda, and he stresses the importance of tonight, but he doesn't explain about dinner with the boss. He just assumes that she knows this for some reason, even though she didn't when they last spoke about it. It's a stupid misunderstanding, but it's exactly the kind of thing that would happen on an old-timey sitcom, so it's weirdly appropriate, I guess. Then we go to a commercial. A toaster commercial. A Stark Industries toaster. The light on the toaster glows red. Now, the rest of the show is in black and white. This is the first bit of color we see here. I'm guessing that's significant somehow. It's probably not something they did just because it looks cool aesthetically, but we don't know how significant it is or why. But it's something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on, because, you know, as we're gonna see, there are other things that appear in color, and it always seems to mean something when we see it. We just don't know what it means. So later on, Vision brings Mr. and Mrs. Hart home for dinner. Mrs. Hart is played by Kitty from That 70s Show. I thought that was fun. Be interesting if how many like sitcom people make cameos in this show. So Wanda sneaks up on Mr. Hart in the dark, dressed in a nightie, because they're thinking he's Vision. And it's a big, awkward misunderstanding. Oh, my wife's from Europe, and that's just the traditional greeting of her people. Ha ha ha. They have no dinner, of course, because Wanda didn't know what was happening, so she calls the neighbor lady, who just happens to have a 3-course meal ready to go. What a coincidence, right? So she brings the food over, and Wanda starts floating everything around with her telekinesis, which she still has in this, whatever this is. She trying to, cook it in a big hurry, basically. Mrs. Hart hears clanking around in the kitchen. She goes to check on this, but Vision distracts her by singing, so they have a little sing-along. And I'm sure this all sounds scintillating, and it's actually kind of not. I didn't know what the purpose of this all was. I kept waiting for something to happen. It took a little bit. Because this is just weird, typical old-timey sitcom hijinks here. And I'm starting to wonder what the point of it all is at this stage. So another hint or two would have been nice here, but we didn't get it just yet. So Mr. Hart thinks that Vision is not management material because this night is not going so well yet, but behind his back, Wanda floats the dinner onto the table. And she actually completely screwed up the dinner. Instead, she cooked breakfast food. I guess the breakfast that she was going to make for Vision before remembering that he doesn't actually eat food. So over dinner, here's where things start happening. The Hearts are asking questions. Where'd you move from? When'd you get married? Stuff like that. Neither of them remember. Mr. Hart wants to know why they came to this town. And when they don't know that either, they have no answer, he gets angry. He gets borderline hostile. But then he chokes on his food and he falls to the ground. And this is where it gets interesting because the mood, like the whole mood and tenor of the episode suddenly changes. Like the cinematography changes. They cut to different, like, non-sitcom camera angles. It suddenly becomes more cinematic. Like, even the lighting gets darker. Like, everything about the whole scene gets dark. And Mrs. Hart keeps saying, "Stop it. Stop it." She's repeating it over and over like she's stuck on a loop or something. And Wanda says, "Vision, help him." Oh, weird. Like, she can tell something is wrong, but she doesn't know what or why. It all feels like we switched into the Twilight Zone or something all of a sudden. So Vision reaches into his throat and phases out the food that's stuck in there and saves his life. So Mr. Hart is okay, and suddenly, just like that, we're back in sitcom mode. So the Harts leave, but Mr. Hart is impressed with Vision, and they're going to be talking about a promotion for Vision come Monday. So everything worked out. Now, at this point, Wanda's starting to realize that there's something weird about this situation. Something is off. Something is not right. But the moment passes and it all gets swept under the rug, though they do note that it's odd that they don't have, like, a wedding anniversary or a wedding song or wedding rings or anything like that. So she makes them wedding rings and then all's well that ends well. And then they kind of do that thing where the circle closes in on two people in the center, and we zoom out of the traditional sitcom ending to some computer lab where someone is watching this show on a monitor. And then we get two sets of credits at the end. One that's like a movie, and then one that's like an old-timey sitcom. That's the first episode. And I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but it's leaning really heavily on the sitcom gimmick. And if that doesn't do it for you, you may find yourself bored. Because there are very tiny hints of something sinister going on, and those hints are interesting, but the rest of the sitcom stuff feels like filler. Like you're just waiting for the mystery to reveal itself, and until it does, we're just kind of treading water, basically. There's an issue with the characters being unable to act proactively. They don't know what's happening to them or that there's even something wrong, so they're just going about their seemingly normal lives until something weird happens to give the audience some clue about what the mystery is about. In between those clues, it's just sitcom stuff. Excuse me. And you can see they really put a lot into that. But the novelty wears off pretty quickly despite the cast and crew really working hard to sell this. I don't know, it's one of those situations where I think the cast and crew were a little more amused this was more amusing to them than the audience, I think. I think that's what I'm trying to say, anyway. Anyway, we go right into episode 2, and we find Wanda and Vision asleep in twin beds, because back then you couldn't have them and couldn't feature a married couple in the same bed. And they're awoken by a noise outside, which scares them both. They're terrified. So terrified that Wanda accidentally moves the beds together. And Vision's a big scaredy cat, so Wanda opens the window with her powers, and the noise is just a tree branch smacking on the window. And, but hey, their beds are together now, which they like. Newlywed couple. This is preferable, so, Wanda magically turns the twin beds into one bed, which she couldn't do before, as far as I know, Because remember, MCU Wanda is basically has Jean Grey powers. I think if she had her hex magic, I think that would fall under her power set. But this is new for MCU Wanda. I don't know if that's significant or if it's just because they're doing Bewitched now. So yeah, they have a new title sequence. It's a riff on Bewitched. Really well done, actually. So we've moved forward a little bit into a new sitcom a little further down the road. Not sure why or what the point of this is, and we don't get any answers about that just yet. But for this episode, Vision is practicing a magic act for some children's fundraiser, and he makes Wanda disappear in a big box, but then she comes out through the secret door in the back. And Wanda thinks this fundraiser is very important because this is their chance to appear as normal a couple as possible. This is their new home now, and she wants them to fit in. And so later on, Wanda hears the noise again. So she goes outside, and she finds a toy helicopter in the bushes, but the helicopter is in color. This strikes her as very odd, but she can't put her finger on why. Again, we don't learn the significance of the helicopter. I thought it was a drone or something, but it's not. It's like a remote-controlled toy, basically. I don't know why it's in color. Again, we don't find out yet. So Neighbor Lady brings by a rabbit for the magic act. Wanda puts it in the house, and while she's indoors, a mailman walks by, and they have a little interplay, like, stick 'em up. Don't shoot, just the messenger, ha ha ha. Wanda comes back, and her and Neighbor Lady walk off, but Wanda looks back at the mailman suspiciously. So maybe he's someone to keep an eye on. We don't see him again for the rest of the episode, but it seems something suspicious about that. So they're going to meet a woman named Dottie, who I guess is the top of the social tier in this town, and she's the key to everything, like getting country club memberships and stuff like that. Oh, Dottie is played by Emma Caulfield. I love Emma Caulfield. She's awesome. So a bunch of women are... So they have a meeting with this woman, and they're all sitting by a pool, or that they're at the country club or something. It's not important, but they're all talking about the fundraiser. And they all have to suck up to Dottie, and one of the women is black, which in this situation stands out like a sore thumb. So she's probably somebody important. I believe Monica Rambeau is supposed to be introduced in this show, or at least the adult version of Monica Rambeau. I'm guessing this is who she is. So this woman, Geraldine, and Wanda immediately hit it off, since neither of them really know what they're doing here at this meeting. They both feel uncomfortable. They're out of their comfort zone here. And then we cut to Vision, who goes to a library for a neighborhood watch meeting. But it's a members-only thing, so he feels very awkward there. It's really just men gossiping about people they know, and Vision tries to fit in by saying, hey, Norm here is a communist, and they all laugh, though it's not clear if Vision was joking or whatever. Don't know why we're spending time on this. One guy offers him some gum. Vision doesn't eat, but he wants to fit in, so he takes it, and the guy pats him on the back, and he swallows the gum, and it gets stuck in his insides, and, he's all machine in there, so... Well, that's not good. Anyway, Dottie, cutting back to the women, Dottie has chosen Wanda to clean up after the meeting. Wanda thinks her and Dottie have not gotten off on the right foot, and assures Dottie that she and Vision don't mean anybody any harm. And Dottie doesn't believe her. And then the mood changes again. And we shift into non-sitcom camera angles. And everything gets dark. And Dottie looks suddenly really scared. And she asks, "Who are you?" And then there's a radio on in the background, but the song playing on it gets scrambled, and then someone speaks over the radio, "Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, who's doing this to you?" And then Dottie breaks a glass in her hand, and she starts bleeding, but her blood is colored red. Like, we see the colors now. So Wanda grabs a compress for the blood, but Dottie suddenly is back in sitcom mode, and whatever's affecting them is suddenly back in place, and and it's all swept under the rug again. So another interesting tease, but so far there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to what appears in color and what doesn't. So I'm still waiting for something to clarify that and tie it all together, because it all just seems very random right now. Then we have another commercial. This one is for a watch. It's a Strucker watch with a Hydra logo on it. What is this about? I don't know. But so far we've had teases for Stark, Strucker. There's going to be another one later. And I don't know how all these things are connected. Or if they even are connected. And it's a little annoying. But anyway, after this, we get a stretch where the show unfortunately starts to drag, because they go to the talent show fundraiser, and there's this extended sequence where it's just fundraiser stuff, it's just sitcom stuff. Vision shows up late, right before him and Wanda are supposed to go on, and there's the gum inside him is really screwing up the works, and it's like he's drunk. And Wanda tries to tell him about the weird stuff that's going on, but Vision's not really comprehending things at the moment. So Dottie introduces their act, and Wanda comes out first, but Vision is a hot mess right now, and he starts flying, so Wanda has to cover for him by making a rope and a pulley system appear out of thin air, and the crowd thinks this is pretty funny, actually. And so Wanda does a couple things in this episode that are not in her power set, like changing the twin beds into one bed, and now making the pulley appear, and some other stuff after this, and at least they weren't in her power set up until this point. We never saw her being able to materialize things out of nothing, so I don't know if this is her powers being messed with somehow, or if it's just part of the whole Bewitched angle. They don't explain it. But it's something to keep an eye on. Anyway, then Vision picks up the piano that's on the stage, and, well, he's not supposed to be able to do that, and everyone is like, what the hell is going on? So Wanda takes it, and she transforms it into a prop. And then she shows it off to everyone. Oops, you weren't supposed to see that. Ha ha ha. And then Vision tries to do a card trick, and he has one of the guys from the neighborhood watch meeting take a card. He's like, is this your card? Is this your card? And he goes through the whole deck. And it's getting less and less amusing now. I'm sorry to say. Paul Bettany is struggling with this scene. He's trying, but he doesn't seem to quite know how to make this work. It's starting to feel kind of awkward. Between acting drunk and acting like a 1960s sitcom character is just, it's too much. And it's just not coming across well. It just feels really awkward, and I'm getting a little impatient with it. So then the bunny runs across the stage, and Wanda thinks that maybe they should just leave the bunny out of this, since things are kind of going off the rails here and Vision's acting insane. So instead, he phases his hat through his own body. Everyone is shocked, but then Wanda pulls the curtain back and shows them a bunch of mirrors. See, it's all done with mirrors. It's all part of the show, They seem to buy this. And then Wanda brings out the cabinet of mystery where they were practicing with earlier, but Vision tries to do the trick before Wanda gets in the box. And so Wanda apparently teleports Geraldine into the box. And so they made someone appear instead of disappear. And so their act is over. They go backstage, and Wanda finds the gum and extracts it from Vision's body, so he's back to normal now. And they try to take off before Dottie chews them out for ruining the show, even though people seem to like it. But Dottie sees them as they try to leave, and surprise, she thinks they were hilarious. And she even gives them a trophy because their act was a big hit. Geraldine is confused. She doesn't know how she got inside the box, but a magician never reveals his secrets. So that's the first hint we get of somebody else in this whole situation, recognizing that something's weird about this. So I guess they're going to bring Geraldine in on the fun now. So the fundraiser worked out, but does that even matter? I don't know. Like, the whole scene really could have used another hint about the big mystery. Like, those hints are really intriguing when they happen, but they're spaced out so much, and all the sitcom stuff that they're padding the episodes with in the meantime doesn't feel that interesting to me, because we, the audience, don't know if any of that stuff is important at all. Like, is there some kind of information being fed to the audience that we're supposed to be taking in here? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. But I don't know what I'm supposed to look for. For example, like, what would have happened if the fundraiser had been a disaster? Would that have caused this simulation or reality or whatever it is to break down? Why were we supposed to be invested in this fundraiser? I think it would have been really helpful if the writers would take a page from Cabin in the Woods, where they showed all the behind-the-scenes stuff with the people manipulating everything, so we knew why everything happening at the cabin mattered. These episodes needed something like that. Like, we know Wanda and Vision are being manipulated for some reason, but we don't know why or for what purpose. Like, right now, we don't know why or if any of this stuff matters. Did the fundraiser matter? Did the neighborhood watch party matter? We don't know. So it's hard to get invested in these things. Or in Vision getting gum in his gears or whatever. We don't know what's important. So later on back at the house, Wanda says it wasn't so hard to fit in after all, but they nailed the fundraiser, and it was all for the children. And suddenly Wanda's pregnant. Is she actually pregnant? Is this just part of the simulation? Again, we don't know yet. She asks if this is really happening. But before they get any answers, they hear the noise again. And again, the tone changes. The setting changes. Everything gets dark again. So they go outside, and the manhole cover on the street gets pushed off. And someone climbs out of the sewer. And it's a creepy man in a beekeeper suit emerging from the sewer. And there's even a lot of bees surrounding him. So the beekeeper suit obviously points in a certain direction. Is it AIM who's doing this? Or not necessarily the AIM we saw in Iron Man 3, but maybe this is more like the AIM from the comics? Is like an offshoot of AIM? Is that who's doing this to them? We don't know yet, but it's the most tantalizing clue we've gotten so far. This man seems familiar to Wanda, and she says no. Very gravely, very seriously. And then suddenly the show rewinds about 30 seconds. Again, playing around with time. And we do the scene again. Is this really happening? Yes, it's really happening. They kiss. And the noise doesn't happen this time. And then everything turns to color suddenly. It's a really beautiful sequence, actually. So we're skipping forward again to some 1970s sitcom now. I don't know what show they'll do next. I Dream of Jeannie, maybe? Who knows? And again, we hear the voice. Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda! And that's where the episode ends. So that's 2 episodes. And I assume they'll be releasing one a week from now on. And it's going to be about 6 hours of content total. I don't know how many episodes that'll be, but I'm guessing it'll be one a week. I like the mystery of what the hell is going on. That's interesting. But the sitcom stuff I can take or leave. And right now, it's about 95% sitcom stuff, which makes the pacing very slow at times. So if the sitcom stuff doesn't do it for you, you're gonna be impatient, I think. I do really like how the show is breaking from the typical Marvel formula and trying something very different. I don't know how effective that's going to be, because what we may be learning here is that maybe they stuck to the formula as long as they did for a reason. Because when you deviate from the formula, suddenly the results are not as reliable. You know what I mean? Um, uh, excuse me. So I have no idea what's going on yet. And I like that. That's good. But I feel like they're highlighting the wrong stuff. I want more of the mystery. But the show is just really enraptured with the sitcom angle right now. And credit to them, the writers and the production crew have done a great job with that. Like, the show really does look like a sitcom from the 1950s or the 1960s or whenever the hell those shows they were copying were. And I'm here for the story, but I don't feel like it's unfolding fast enough. Because the sitcom stuff, as well done as it is not enough to carry this whole thing. Because, again, we don't know what the purpose of everything is yet. And I just don't think the sitcom thing is as amusing as they think it would be. So, I want the mystery to move into second gear in, like, starting in the next episode. At least give us more teases about what's going on. I feel like there are probably a lot of Easter eggs and clues about what's happening sprinkled in there that I'm just not picking up on. So I suspect the show will likely make more sense when you can binge watch the whole season, but they're releasing these week to week, and I'm not sure that was the best idea for a show like this. Anyway, I mean, the novelty of the sitcom concept just wears thin very quickly, and it's already starting to feel like filler to me. For the first episode, okay. But then you kind of want the story to get moving after that. But instead, they just give you one or two more little hints. Excuse me. But if episode 2 had started with the people who are behind this whole thing, that would have helped. Like the first scene of Cabin in the Woods. Like, it starts in like an office. Just two dudes talking. You don't know. It's like, what? Is this the movie I came in for? Are they playing a different movie? You don't know what the hell's going on. But you know it's something weird. So right off the bat, you know something. You know there are people manipulating this situation. It just gives you an idea about what's going on. Right now in WandaVision, you have no idea. You just know there's somebody doing something. You don't know what it is. You don't know why it is. I think we need to see more of that. Even just a little bit, I think it would help. Just to see what's going on from those people's perspective. You wouldn't have to reveal who they are. Just show it from their perspective. I think that'd be very helpful. Issues aside, they have created an interesting situation here. Like, they're raising some intriguing questions. Who is behind this? Is it all in Wanda's head? Is Vision even real? Is he still dead, or is he just part of the simulation? If he's real, then how did he come back from the dead? Why do they keep getting shunted forward in time to sitcoms from different decades? If they start answering those questions in episode 3, I think we'll be in good shape. Right now, the show hasn't gotten out of first gear yet. I like the concept, but the execution needs some fine-tuning. So, let's see what you guys thought of WandaVision. Alright. New Mortal Kombat film trailer? Is there a trailer out? I didn't know they had a trailer yet. Alright. Oh yeah, just FYI, just thumbs up the video while you're here. Yeah. Okay, sound good. Couple people thinking Wanda has just gone crazy. And that's definitely a tease as well. Of course, there were some very small hints that she was not all there mentally as early as Age of Ultron. I guess they're playing more into that. should get a Spider-Woman live-action series at Disney Plus. Or a Spider-Woman movie. That'd be cool. Not sure who has the rights to those. I suspect Sony probably has the rights to Spider-Woman, unfortunately. Which kind of sucks. I'd love to see Marvel's take on Spider-Woman. If Sony does it, it's going to suck. A lot of people talking about Batwoman. Oh, God, it starts tomorrow. Season 2. God help me. This starts a 3-part saga. WandaVision leads to a Toby, Andrew, Tom Spider-Man 3, and then wraps up with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I heard it was leading into Doctor Strange. Because we know Wanda's going to be in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I guess, yeah. I guess it depends which movie comes out first. I'm beginning to get nervous about MCU Spider-Man 3. Me too. Because I'm not a fan of the whole Spider-Verse thing. I've never liked the Spider-Verse. I always thought it was stupid. And bringing all these other the Sony Spider-Man back. Do we really need to visit the Raimi movies? Do we really? Do we really need to see Tobey Maguire crying all the damn time? Because his Peter Parker really loved to cry. Do we really need to see Jamie Foxx's Electro again? Do we really need to see Kirsten Dunst Mary Jane again? I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that idea. Yeah, the dinner scene was unsettling. Yeah, it was. I just wanted more of that stuff, you know? I mean, they just seem to be so excited about the sitcom thing. It's just, it's well done, but I wanted more story, you know? And not just you doing your take on the Dick Van Dyke Show. All right. Some comments about The Flash. Why, God, why? Flash was okay in Season 1, good in Season 2, and mediocre from then on. No, Flash sucked from day one. I'm sorry. That show has never been good. I think the Stark toaster going off is supposed to mean the Stark bomb killing Wanda's parents. Yeah, possibly. And I guess, the Strucker watch could signify them, her and Quicksilver volunteering for those experiments to give them their powers. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Huh. That's a good point. After watching the first 2 episodes, I find it boring and predictable. The only thing that's interesting is the small hinting of a larger mystery. That is what keeps seeing this show. I wouldn't call it predictable. I mean, I have no idea where it's going right now. Boring, I'll give you that one. Because it's too much sitcom and not enough of the mystery. Give us more hints. We need to get the story moving. It feels like it's moving very slowly right now. All right. That Stop It was so creepy and very unsettling. Agreed. How strong Scarlet Witch could be in a Twilight Zone episode. Yeah. If they wanted to do a take on old shows from the 50s or 60s or whenever that show was, Twilight Zone, there you go. I don't know why they're I don't know why they're doing sitcoms. I'd really love to know their reasoning behind this. The credits are stupidly long. Yeah, the credits are very long. Yeah, that's true. Has a Pleasantville feel to it. Yeah, it does. I didn't think about that, but you're right. I always really liked that movie, Pleasantville. It's a good flick if you haven't seen it. Okay. He choked on his food. The boss did, and Vision chokes on some gum. That's literally the excitement of the 2 episodes, and at the end of the show, a man in a beekeeper suit comes out of the sewers. Yeah, it could have used a little bit of action. It's like we need more of the mystery. We need more things happening, right? The first 2 episodes, not a whole lot happens. That's the big. It's the big issue. Okay. Agree that it's filler. We have a super chat. I'm not sure what currency that is. I will get to it in just a second. Do you think the series would have worked better under a Netflix full release format where we can just watch the whole series in one setting instead of waiting a week? For a show like this that's apparently on a slow burn mystery thing, I think that probably would have worked better. If you can just binge the whole thing in like 1 or 2 sittings, then you get to the point a lot faster. And if the mystery is revealing itself very slowly, then waiting a week for a new episode, that's gonna... I don't know. You're risking interest kind of tapering off. Watching Vision be timid is kind of weird. Yeah, it is, but remember, they're not really in their right minds right now. Also, Wanda ends up pregnant somehow by Vision, even though he has no sexual ability. I'm sorry, they need to quickly get to the point of the show where this show is done. Well, I mean, that happened in the comics, too. Not sure. I mean, but come to think of it, did they ever say in the movies that if Vision was anatomically correct? I don't think that question was ever raised. Weird. But yeah, I mean, they did have kids in the comics, I think, created by Wanda's hex powers or something. I don't recall how that worked exactly, but I mean, this could be how Speed and Wiccan, show up in the MCU. They're already doing Stature over in the Ant-Man movies. I guess she'll become Stature in the 3rd one, and also Kate Bishop is on the way. So you can see they appear to be like setting the stage for Young Avengers. Okay. You notice there was no children at the show. Yeah, no children at the fundraiser that was raising funds for children. That's interesting. Now Wanda's pregnant. No kids anywhere in the show so far. I hadn't considered that, but you're right. During the dinner scene in episode 1, if you look closely, you can see Wanda flick her wrist and blink her eyes at the boss, making him choke. Really? I missed that. I don't understand how Vision is considered dead if he's a robot and can't die. Well, I mean, they kind of addressed that in Infinity War. I mean, they were planning to extract the Infinity Stone from him, and there was a question of would Vision still be himself if they pulled the stone out? But then Thanos just ripped the thing out of his head. I guess I assumed that he was beyond repair. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, I don't know. But they still got to address the question of how is Vision back? Because, well, we still don't know. Because we don't know, like, when in the timeline this even happens. So, maybe this is prior to the events of Infinity War? And if it's after, how is Vision back? Is Vision even back, or is this all just in Wanda's head? There's a lot they need to explain about it. It was Monica Rambeau. Alright, cool. You think Mephisto is manipulating Wanda? My guess would be no. I think it's more likely pointing to AIM or something. And that would be my guess after the beekeeper guy. How would Wanda know Monica? No, she doesn't know her. This is just how I guess this is just how they're introducing adult Monica. They don't necessarily know each other. So maybe Monica grows up to be like a SHIELD agent or something. Who knows? If the gum is stuck in Vision, just phase so the gum would go through him. Yeah. Pretty much. It's Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that was him on the radio, yeah. Just from me explaining the episode again, you can see how boring the show is. Yeah, they need to get the story moving. So much interesting, amazing stories in the Marvel Universe. These are mediocre characters and Marvel and Hollywood plots instead of just taking stories straight out of the comics. Well, Wanda and Vision having kids is from the comics. Maybe they're taking a different path to get there. But that is a story. That is something from the comics. Here's an idea: introduce Phalanx Saga to the Marvel Universe. Well, we need to get the X-Men in there first. And I think there's certain stories I'd like to see before the Phalanx. Let's see. Why should we care? Is there a real story here? Like, there's some storytelling aspects of this that don't really work. A lot of it is just stuff happening, and we don't know what's important or what isn't. Like, are there clues sprinkled in there? If they are, they're so subtle that I'm missing them. You took the words out of my mouth. The mysteries are too spaced out. Yeah. Oh, it's sword. Sword image on their outfit. Alright, I missed... Okay, apparently there was a sword insignia that I missed. Alright, cool. So we get tease of... a few different things. We get tease of Stark, Hydra, sword, aim... Wouldn't it be weird if they were all involved somehow? I don't know if 2 episodes was enough. I think it could have been. We just needed more story in there. It just there was actually not that much story in the 2 episodes. I think that was the problem. If they just advanced the story a little further, it would have been fine. Pretty sure this is Wanda altering reality, and Sword is trying to get into the place to see what's wrong. Okay, but how? Like, Wanda doesn't have reality-altering powers. She has telekinesis and, like, some kind of mental, like, telepathy-esque type of thing. Because if she's changing reality, well, that's new. So then her powers changed at some point. So they're gonna have to make that make sense. I believe these are all things that are being done by her to cope with Vision being dead. Alright. That's definitely a possibility. I better spent their money on season 4 of Daredevil. Yeah. Although, there was a news thing out today. Apparently, Charlie Cox has been spotted on the set of Spider-Man 3. So, Matt Murdock could be making a return in the new Spider-Man movie. Holy shit. I'm so much more interested in that than I am in them doing a Spider-Verse crossover. Fuck your Spider-Verse. Give me just Tom Holland and Daredevil. That'd be awesome. Sword logo was shown multiple times. All right, I haven't. I'm not really reading Marvel comics like month to month now. I haven't really read the Sword comics at all, so I will take your word for it. If the Sword logo is popping up, okay, I will take your word for it. I missed that. It's Sword, not AIM. Well, AIM are the ones that I associate with the beekeeper suits. If it's Sword, cool. I don't know what the beekeeper suit's about then. Alright, where is the... Okay, Murdoch. Sorry I missed you. I don't know which, I don't know what currency that is, but thank you for the super chat. Are you ready for Gotham's new heroine? Oh, God. I'm ready to tear Gotham's new heroine a new one. Let's put it that way. Apparently, heel versus babyface did a video about. I think it was Variety reviewed the first episode or two. Apparently, they didn't think it was all that good. So if even the news media are not willing to cut this show any slack, this new season must be bad. Like, even worse than before. I don't know how it could be worse than last season, but Jesus. Oh, God, it's going to be horrible. Gonna be horrible. Alright, where the hell was I? Alright. Where was I? My theory is that this is all in Wanda's head. She's trying to come to grips with Vision's death and seek refuge in the safety of old TV sitcoms. Yeah. That's a possibility. I had a similar theory about this before the show started. Except, then who are the people watching all this on a monitor in a lab somewhere? If the show progresses, the sitcoms will get closer to modern TV shows. Yeah. I hope they do Married with Children. I hope they do Married with Children. Oh, boy. Let's see. And, alright. We got another super chat here. Oh boy, I'm going to butcher this one. Manohar Rajan, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for the super chat. You're still wanted for the murder of Kate Kane. They'll never take me alive. And they'll never pin that one on me. Funny thing about that. I think Caroline Dries, the showrunner of Batwoman, she was asked about that, and she says she wasn't going to play into the bury your gaze trope. So I guess they're not going to they're not going to kill Kate off, but I guess she's just going to go missing. And they'll just leave it at that, which is so fucking lame. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you resolve her being missing with. I mean, they're not going to have Ruby Rose. I mean, maybe they could get her back for a cameo or something. I don't know how that's going to work. But if you can't get her back, then how do you resolve this without saying that she eventually got killed or died or something? I don't know what you do with that. If you're not willing to kill her off, I mean, that's doesn't leave you with many options. I get that bury your gaze is a thing, but what the hell are you supposed to do? You don't have the actress anymore. All right. Excuse me. That's the reason why live streams are kind of hard. My voice tends to be pretty unreliable. It's allergies. Not much I can do about that. Vision trying to live a normal life in the suburbs is also from the comics. Yeah. Never read those Vision comics. They seemed a little too gimmicky. Wonder if WandaVision's going to do a callback to Full House. I think I read somewhere that they would. Sword insignia on the helicopter. All right, cool. Well, All right, I have not read the Sword. Excuse me, the Sword comics. I think it could be interesting when they eventually reboot X-Men. They could start with the Uncanny X-Men, the Sisterhood story arc. How about they start with an origin story? Keep it simple. Do like the Sentinels. We've never had a proper movie with the Sentinels. Closest we got was Days of Future Past. They were barely in that one. Keep it simple. Like do the Sentinels. Like do like a Mr. Sinister movie. We've never all the X-Men movies they've done, we've never had Mr. Sinister. And okay, we got another super chat. We got another one from Manohar Rajan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, dude. But thank you for the super chat. But Batwoman only makes Thorias' payday. That's true. That's true. Financially speaking, Batwoman being back is going to help me. Is going to help me out. Because the ad revenue from those movies, those videos. Well, they pretty quickly became my primary source of ad revenue. Did the Batwoman reviews. So as nice as it was when the show went on hiatus, I did feel it in my wallet. Thank you for the super chat. WandaVision better not be just some nostalgic cash in on the Dick Van Dyke Show. Yeah, I think I did get the impression that they were doing it, they found it more amusing than it came off in practice. Like they look like they're having fun, like making the sitcom thing. It's just it's not terribly fun to watch. Like I'm here for the mystery, but the sitcom is just overbearing right now. When it's way too much of one, not enough of the other. Should be given the Nobel Peace Prize for the execution of Kate Kane. Anything but Apocalypse, please. I can't stand him. Apocalypse is a good character. He didn't get the best treatment in that movie. But you know, if they did him right, like do him like they did with Thanos, like just mocap the thing. They tried to do it all in like makeup and prosthetics and stuff. It didn't work. Yeah, we can get a proper Apocalypse movie, and God, there's so much of the X-Men lore that the Fox movies never touched. And okay, I guess we're at the end here. Thanks for reading my X-Men comments. My favorite 3 X-Men films are The Last Stand, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse. Really? The Last Stand is one of your favorites? Alright, I'm not judging. I heard the CW isn't doing any crossover events this season. They were supposed to do one for Batman and Superman Lois. Yeah, the big crossover is off this season because of the beer bug. Can't really fault them for that. And this is going to be the last season for Supergirl too, so she won't get to be in on a crossover. She won't get to do one more crossover on her way out the door. Too bad. Yeah, I'm not losing sleep over it. I meant that sarcastically. Okay. Would Kang the Conqueror be good for the MCU? Sure. Like, if they got to do that in a future Avengers movie, because Kang's one of their major villains. Okay, I gotta. Okay, whoa, super chat's coming in now. Manohar Rajan with another super chat, 1999. Holy moly! Thank you so much. USD gonna collapse and already bought a house, so here can't donate to Trump's campaign anymore. Anyways, well, thank you, my friend. And you guys are, like, you guys just paid for the Disney Plus subscription. I was so hesitant to sign up for Disney Plus. I'm like, I don't want to pay for another streaming service. Because, man, I said for so long that my Netflix subscription was the one luxury I allowed myself, like, until I can build the channel up to pay more of my bills than it covers. Then I had to kind of keep my belt tight. But then well, Amazon. Yeah, the weird thing is, apparently I had Amazon Prime for a while, and I didn't realize it. Like, I signed up for the trial version, because that was a thing, like a special giveaway that Raid Shadow Legends was doing. Like, sign up for like a free trial of Amazon Prime and get a free Epic Champion. So I did that, and apparently the free trial expired, and I just kept it without realizing it. So I had Amazon Prime the whole time, and I just kept it. So now I can, so because I wanted to watch The Boys on there, so I had Amazon Prime, and then eventually I signed up for Hulu because I wanted to review a movie on there. That was Happiest Season. I found a deal on that, so I signed up for it for, like, I don't know, it was crazy cheap. So I justified that one, and then I guess and then HBO Max. Had to sign up for that because a lot of movies are dropping on that. And thankfully, ad revenue from the Wonder Woman 84 review covered that one. So I paid for 6 months. So the ad revenue covered that one. But then with Disney Plus, I'm like, do I need another one? I've already got them all. I don't want to pay for another one. So I was hoping I'd be able to justify it with ad revenue or super chats or something. You guys just paid for it, so thank you. Thank you very much. To Manohar Rajan, you got like 3 super chats on here. You rock, dude. Thank you so much. John Wheeler with a $5 super chat. WandaVision's premiere kind of reminds me of that show called Ascension from like 5 or 6 years ago. You know, I haven't seen that. I don't think I've ever heard of Ascension. It sounds vaguely familiar. I don't know, I'd have to look that up. I haven't heard of it, though. Dennis Rodolfi Jr. with a $20 bomb. Oh my god. Thank you so much, dude. No comments, just a super chat. Well, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, you should review High School Musical, the series, if Batwoman turns out to be too much. High School Musical, the series. What the hell is that even about? I'll take your word for it. I've got Amazon Prime. I think it's great, but I'm not renting Wonder Woman 84. Yeah, I think I'll keep Amazon Prime because I got to keep it for the boys. Also, I just recently started watching Carnival Row. So I watched the whole season, binged that one pretty quickly. I like that one a lot. So that's another good one. Also, I can catch up on The Expanse now, which I have not done yet. I haven't seen the new season since it left Sci-Fi Channel. Really gotta get caught up on The Expanse. Have you seen Netflix's Dark? I have not seen Dark on Netflix. A lot of people have recommended it to me. I believe it's a German show, right? I think so. Yeah, a lot of people have said it's really good. I have not checked it out yet. Dude, movies, not politics, please. Yes, yes. I always try to keep the channel apolitical. I don't know if I always succeed, but I do try. Also with Twitter, I'm less successful staying apolitical on Twitter. Mostly, if I talk about politics on there, it's mostly out of frustration. But yeah, it's not something I enjoy talking about. It's something I really wish I could go back to not giving a shit about politics. Hopefully, I can do that. After the inauguration. Who knows? It's such a miserable, inflammatory thing. Like I naively expected people to stop talking about politics so much after the election on Twitter. If anything, it's just gotten worse. It's like it's all over my timeline. It's just politics. It's like, why can't we all just go back to talking about nerdy stuff? Oh boy. But yeah, that is my promise to you. I promise I will try to keep this channel as apolitical as I can. Again, don't always succeed. I try my best. Expanse is replacing Kaz Anvar, who plays Alex Kamal. Yeah, I heard about that. I guess the actor got Me Too'd or something. Damn, that's disappointing. But I guess Expanse is ending after season 6, right? So are they just gonna recast Alex for the final season, or just replace him with a different character? I don't know. Let's be honest, if the Batwoman writers just ignore the fact that Kate ever existed, would anyone be surprised? Retcons are the only things those Batwoman writers do well. Retcons are one of their favorite storytelling devices, that's true. Excuse me. Carnival Row Season 1 is really good. I can't wait for Season 2. Yeah. I liked it a lot. For the majority of the season, it seemed like a fairly straightforward type of thing. But all the twists in the last 2 episodes really sold me on it. I'm excited for Season 2. I believe Season 2 is already in the can. They had to shut it down production for a while because of the pandemic, but I think they got everything filmed, so I expect we'll probably see Season 2 by the end of the year. Really excited. Apropos of nothing, Cara Delevingne, who plays Vignette on Carnival Row, she's one of my picks for Emma Frost. Like if I'm casting the MCU X-Men, she's one of my picks for Emma Frost. She was my 3rd pick. I was doing a thing on Twitter the other day where we were just fan casting the X-Men. I had 3 picks for Emma Frost, and she was my number 3. I mean, if you Google her, good lord, she's got like those, like that pale skin and those icy blue eyes and the blonde hair. I mean, her look is like dead on for Emma Frost. Holy crap. Nobody is hyped for Invincible on Amazon Prime. I am. Holy, have you seen the voice cast they got for that show? Holy shit. I'm super excited for Invincible. I never even read the comics, but good God. Voice cast is incredible. What'd you think of the reveal at the end of Mandalorian Season 2? You mean Luke fucking Skywalker? Well, look, I have had Disney Plus for 2 days, so I have not seen The Mandalorian yet. I saw like a a kind of butchered version of the Luke scene on YouTube. It was awesome. Love seeing Luke back, like the real Luke. Even if he was CG'd, it didn't matter. It was Luke fucking Skywalker, not the green milk sucking shit version of Jake Skywalker we saw in that shitty piece of crap movie. No, that was the real Luke Skywalker, and it was wonderful. I'm going to check out Mandalorian. I like to watch the whole series through before I get to the Luke scene. But yeah, I can finally watch the Mandalorian now as long as I have Disney Plus. And what's your most anticipated MCU movie? Like of the ones currently in development, or like just in general? Because if it's in general, I'd say like X-Men. Of the ones currently being worked on, say maybe Black Widow. See, I'd say Spider-Man, but I don't like them that they're doing the Spider-Verse thing. I don't like it. Will you review the Craft Legacy? You know, I kind of missed that one. Apparently, it was in and out of theaters before I even knew it was there. Like I saw the trailer. I did the trailer reaction video for it. Looked pretty bad, and it was in theaters and then out of theaters before I even knew it had premiered. So I missed the boat on that one. And also my theater's closed. It's shut down. I don't know if it'll reopen or not. So I don't know if I'd even have a way to watch it right now, unless it comes out on streaming. Yeah, I heard it sucked, which is a shame. I like the original Craft movie. I actually have it on DVD back there. That's a fun movie. All right, hold on. I gotta turn the heat off. Ugh. Yeah, the heater in my apartment is weird. It's pretty old-fashioned. It's just this big dial. It doesn't even show like what the temperature is. So it basically only has two settings, like too hot or too cold. So yeah, I just turned it off. Amazon had a great show, The Man in High Castle, until SJWs destroyed the masterpiece in the last season. Yeah, The Man in High Castle. I haven't seen that one either. Wanted to check that one out. I like your content. I wish you success. I'm sure your channel will have more than 1 million subs and hit more than 1 million views in the future. Oh, thank you. Well, more than 1 million subs. Well, we're pretty far away from that one. Let's just try to hit 40,000 right now, because 40,000 was my goal for 2020, and I was on track to hit that mark, and then the beer bug happened, and then put the kibosh on summer movie season, and then TV seasons got delayed, and most of the stuff I was planning to talk about got delayed or pushed back, and views kind of tapered off, and sub growth was stagnant for a while, and I kind of got stuck right below 36,000, and I was just stuck in there for an annoyingly long amount of time. The Wonder Woman review, or Wonder Woman 84 review, put us over 36,000. So I think I'm at 36.2 right now. So let's just try to get to 40,000 now. And I'm hoping my sub growth can get back on track now that the TV seasons are starting up again. Maybe Batwoman reviews will help with that. And then if we can get sub growth back to normal, I'd really love to hit 50,000 in 2021. I don't know if that's possible realistically, but We're gonna try. That is the goal. That I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't set a goal like that. But I'd really love to hit 50,000 this year. I'm glad you're back. Love your content. Well, I never left, really. I mean, streams had to go away for a while because I was sick and continue to be. I got another doctor's appointment on Tuesday. If I don't learn anything new then I guess I'm gonna be getting surgery. Yay. It's not fun. I hope those Flash writers do a better job with Season 7. Oh my god, Season 6 was so boring. Somehow it turned out even worse than Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl, and those two weren't even good. Well, better late than never. It seems like more people are finally cottoning on to the fact that The Flash sucks. I'm of the opinion that the show has always sucked. It was never good. No, it's been bad since Season 1. And I'll fight you on that. Because I was reviewing it on a live stream for my original channel. And I was reviewing it week by week for the first 3 seasons when I just finally had to stop. I just couldn't take it anymore. No, The Flash has always sucked. It is a bad show. It has always been a bad show. Did you watch Cobra Kai? I have. Well, now that it's on Netflix, I'm watching it. I'm kind of skipping around, so I'm not watching it chronologically. I'm kind of like skipping around, watching a part here, a part here. But yeah, Cobra Kai is great. I'm loving it. Like this is the blueprint of how to do a series revival or reboot like the right way, because they respect the originals. They treat them with reverence. They reference them all the time, and you can tell that they really love the original Karate Kid movies, and they just want to they want to honor them as best they can. And it really comes across. Like the show is, like, and they did everything right. They introduced they reintroduced the older characters, and then slowly started feeding in like the newer ones, and they didn't have them like overshadow the older characters. They just did it slowly and carefully, and now we like all the new characters, and they can spend time on the younger people, and we like them. We like everybody. Everyone's good, and the stories are good, and the writing is good, and it's a great show. I'm really loving it. Have you watched any of the 100? I've seen some of the 100. I watched the first couple seasons, I think. I watched the first 3 seasons. Yeah, I think it was the first 3. I think I stopped at that point because it was just getting too oppressively dark for my taste. It's a good show, but it was it's the same reason why I couldn't stick with The Walking Dead. Like I watched the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, and then I just had enough. I didn't bother with it because it was so bleak and so dark. Watching it felt like an exercise in nihilism. And it's the same reason why I stopped watching The 100. Because I can appreciate that it's a good show, but watching it was not a fun experience. As I feel like these characters are all doomed. The world that they've created is so dark and so bleak and so hopeless. It's like, why? Like, the characters are all just lining up for the meat grinder. They're not fighting to live. They're just fighting to survive until the next episode. And, Admiral Adama, Battlestar Galactica, said it best. It's not enough to live. You need something to live for. These characters don't have anything to live for. They're just trying to survive. That's the problem. For me, anyway. That's why I couldn't stick with this show. Because even if they survive, so what? So what? Do they have anything to live for, really? Not as far as I could see. And I wish these chat rooms would just post comments as you guys write them. Because it just lets like 50 or something comments build up and then just post them all at once. I'm always losing my place. As long as we don't see Kirsten Dunst again, we don't need to see that version of Mary Jane again. We really don't. And I like Kirsten Dunst as an actress. Normally she's good, but that version of Mary Jane was no. We don't need to see that one again. Have you watched Swamp Thing? No, I have not. I heard it was good, but the production got screwed over and they got canceled like before season 1 was even finished, as I understand it. So I just didn't see any point in checking it out. Arrow was cool the first 2 seasons. Yeah, those first 2 seasons were really good. After that, it just wasn't the same show. And Manohar Rajan with another one. Another super chat. Dude, you're spoiling me. Thank you so much. Women typically use their sexuality to gain power in real life, but this phenomenon is never shown in movies. Last good female lead movie was Elektra. The Jennifer Garner Elektra movie? Okay. Different strokes for different folks. I actually think the Daredevil movie is not as bad as people say. I think that movie gets kind of a bad rap, and I didn't hate Jennifer Garner as Elektra in that movie. The Elektra movie, not so much. I thought the movie was kind of a mess. If you like it, hey, congratulations. I'm not going to judge. Last good female-led movie was Elektra. Do you mean female-led movies in general, or female-led superhero movies? Has there really not been one since Elektra? I mean, not... I guess there's been a couple since Elektra. None of them have been good. Well, I guess we're counting on Black Widow to buck that trend, aren't we? Wow. But thank you for another super chat, Manohar Rajan. Holy shit. Missed your live stream. Sorry to hear you're still sick. Me too. And I'm ready to get rid of this, man. This sucks. It's been months of this now. I'm almost looking forward to getting the surgery if that means I can get rid of this problem. It's not a weakness, but looking at how women use their sexuality to gain power is empowering to females and been a part of life. Okay. All right. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in real life. I guess there is how do I say this? I mean, it is something we've seen a lot of in movies. I understand the issue of people not wanting to see it so much in movies or in TVs now. Because they want they wanted females to be like stronger characters and not just so reliant on the sexuality thing. I understand that. I guess there's two schools of thought on it. It would be nice if there was some kind of middle ground there that we could all agree on. Season 1 was good, and perhaps Season 2 of the rest of The Flash is garbage. No, the whole season... No, the whole series is garbage. The Flash. The whole thing. I've been saying that for a long time. The whole thing is crap. Perhaps Doctor Strange is trying to break in to help Wanda in her trauma prison. Well, someone's trying to break in. I believe it's Agent Jimmy Woo. I'm not ruling out a Doctor Strange cameo at the end of the season. Because we know Wanda's going to be in Multiverse of Madness. You hyped for the Snyder Cut. I think it'll be good, but I'm not as hyped as everyone else seems to be. Am I hyped? No. Am I mildly curious? I guess. I may, now that I bit the bullet and went and signed up for HBO Max, I may have to cover it in some form. But am I excited for it? Not really. I never saw what the big deal was with the Snyder Cut. Mostly because I didn't think Batman v Superman was all that good. And, Snyder went into production on Justice League so quickly after BVS. There was very little time to course correct after all the criticism of BVS. So I expect it's just going to be more of the same. I expect all the problems in Batman v Superman will probably still be there in the Snyder Cut. So am I excited for it? Not really. Okay. Where am I? No, man, come on. Season 1 of The Flash was at least decent. LOL, Reverse Flash was a good villain. Alright, there are aspects of Season 1 of The Flash that are good. I've said this before. There was a period where Season 1 of The Flash could have gone either way, I think. But it didn't. They chose poorly. Reverse Flash was a good villain, but the writing overall of the season just went badly. And I was gonna say I'll fight you on it, but man, I haven't had occasion to think about that show in a while. Tried to block it all out. But yeah, I remember just really hating the writing of that show. I couldn't get further than 3 seasons. And if I hadn't been reviewing it at the time, I would have stopped a lot sooner than that. You gotta make a whole video about The Flash, explain to us why you don't like it? Oh god, if I did, it'd probably end up like the Supergirl reviews. Alright, I'll give you this. One of the main problems with The Flash, and it's only one problem, because there are a lot of problems. Iris. She's horrible. One of my earliest issues with The Flash was that, and this is a problem I have with the comics too, he's too powerful. Like, he's so powerful that realistically, he should win every fight before the fight even starts. Like if he's fighting like a normal human or like a normal or even like a metahuman, realistically, there's no way he can be beaten. If he can run faster than people think, how could anyone possibly beat this person? Like he can beat you just like that, like faster than you can snap your fingers. He can end a fight, or he should be able to. But the problem is, if you have him do that, you don't really have a show. So they had to come up with... The writers would constantly have to come up with reasons for why Barry can't just finish somebody off in the blink of an eye. And the same reason that they would come back to over and over again is that he's just an idiot who doesn't do the most obvious, logical, intelligent thing that a man with his powers should do in any situation. Like, if he happens upon a supervillain doing some type of evil shit, if you're the Flash, you would just super speed at this person, knock him unconscious. In a split second, the fight should be over. But instead of doing that, Barry would try talking to them. He'd try to talk to this person. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing evil stuff? You should stop doing that. That's bad. That's wrong. Whatever. He would try talking to them. He would do this over and over. And every time, all that happened was he would give this person a chance to escape, or set off a bomb, or put some innocent person in danger, and then Barry would have to go deal with that. He would do this over and over and over. And he would never learn his lesson, because if he learned his lesson, suddenly he'd be defeating people in the blink of an eye, and suddenly you don't have a show. So the whole reason why he can't act like an actual intelligent human being is because if he did, there's no show. So they just have to make him a complete fucking idiot. And the character would just make the same mistakes over and over again and never learn anything. It just became infuriating to me how he would never do the smart thing. And there were a lot of other issues too. Like it was always like style over substance. Like they would go for like something that's flashy instead of intelligent. Like there was one sequence, I remember it was he was fighting Captain Cold and Heatwave, and it was this just your basic fight, basic 1-on-2 fight. It was just them with their heat gun and their cold gun. And here's Barry over here just waiting for them to shoot at him. So they do. And he super speeds all over the place. He's like speeding up buildings and down another building and just going all over the place. And they're following him with the heat beam and the fire beam and whatever. And I'm like, dude, you can move faster than they can. Why not just super speed over to them and knock them unconscious? Why are you running all over the place and letting these beams chase you? You don't need to be doing this. You can outrun those beams and just knock them out. Why? And the answer is because the episode needed an action sequence. But it's so unnecessary. If he just did the smart thing, this would be over. It's stuff like that. So many things like that. Just no, I'm sorry. The show is bad. It's always been bad. I'm sorry. I could go on and on like this. Don't even get me started on Iris. Fuck that character. Good God. I don't blame him. By the way, Barry's incompetence and Iris's Queen Slay nonsense are Team Flash's sheer stupidity. The Flash just needs to end. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's I am sweating right through this shirt, so let's try to wrap this up. CW has not made any decent superhero shows since Smallville. I don't know, man. Smallville was pretty bad, too. Oy. They always nerf the crap out of Barry. He loses in the most ridiculous ways. There's always a lot of inconsistencies with his speed, and don't get me started on the time travel plot holes. Dude, don't get me started on the time travel plot holes. Oh my god. Team Flash. Reverse Flash said it countless times. Team Flash are all a bunch of idiots. Oh, absolutely. They are the stupidest smart people on television. Barry never protects anyone. He's always making silly promises about protecting someone every season, but he always fails when, in all honesty, he shouldn't. That's the one part I've always hated. Yep. Welcome to Barry Allen. The worst superhero ever. At least until Kang came along. CW ruined Riverdale, too. Was Riverdale ever really that good? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I watched Riverdale season 1. It's kind of a... It was... I didn't... It was sort of amusing in a guilty pleasure type of way. It just became absolutely absurd in season 2, so I checked out at that point. But I never thought it was really good. It was just kind of a... Well, I was going to say so bad it's funny, but more guilty pleasure nonsense. But yeah, it just, season 2, it just went completely off the rails. Also, The Flash, in my opinion, 100% is a terrible series. Boom. There you go. What do you think of Gotham? Thought it had issues, but had some great moments and villains like the two unofficial Jokers and the Riddler and the Penguin. Oy. Okay, that live stream on my original channel, basically every week I would review all the weekly comic book shows. Alright, Gotham was one of them. I did the first season, and then I just had to stop. People tell me it got better after that. Great, but I don't care. I hated season 1 so much. I've said this before. It could have become the best show on television, and I wouldn't have cared at that point. That's how much I hated season 1. All right. Is it bad that Legends of Tomorrow is probably my favorite CW series? I know it's wacky and weird, but that's what you sign up for with it, to be honest. To be frank. Look, I don't judge, but Legends of Tomorrow, that's another one I had to stop watching after the first season. I was only watching in the first place to review it. But oh god, God, the first season was so awful. If you like it, okay, cool. Hey, different strokes for different folks, but wow. I thought the writing of season 1 was shockingly bad. Shockingly bad. Have you seen Arrow's final season? No. I watched the last episode. just out of curiosity. But no, I checked out of Arrow a while before that. I don't remember the last season I watched. I don't know, the season where they blew up Lian Yu in the finale. That's the last season I watched. I stopped watching after that. I think it was, what was that, 5? Season 5? I think it was 5. Are you ready to suffer tomorrow night? Oh God. How can you ever be ready for something like that? I've been trying to mentally prepare myself for it, but yeah, wow. I'm looking forward to a new influx of ad revenue. That's the only positive I can take away from this. And I'm hoping I get good news at the doctor on Tuesday, because man, those Batwoman reviews are just so stressful. They take so much out of me. Like last season, I had to take a day to rest after finishing one, because I was just so... They're so all-consuming. And so it put so much stress on me that I had to... I needed a day to just unwind afterward. And now I'm not even like feeling 100% anymore, so it's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to really gut through those things. Hopefully, I guess the most I can hope for with Batwoman Season 2 is that we'll finally be in so bad it's funny territory. But, I mean, who knows? If even, like, the Access Media is saying, yeah, the Season 2 premiere ain't that good. Oh, this is... What kind of a train wreck are we in for? I don't know, man. Alright, I guess maybe we can wrap this thing up. What did you think of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ending? To be honest, I didn't... I kind of checked out of S.H.I.E.L.D. at that point. I heard good things about the final season. Which doesn't surprise me, and the writing was typically good on S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm still of the opinion that the show should have ended at Season 5. That always felt like, to me, like the organic end point of the series. And after that, they just started... There were so many signs of it just going past the point when it should have stopped. Like, bringing back... killing characters and then immediately bringing them back. It just... Have we gone beyond the shelf life of this series? It felt like it should have ended. Even though there were a lot of things about Season 6 that I liked. But, I mean, they killed Coulson off, and then they bring Clark Gregg back as a new character. So we don't even have time to miss Coulson before we see Clark Gregg again, so it feels like Coulson never really left. And then they do the same thing with May. It's like, well, we do this dramatic, like, death scene because we want the emotional pathos of May dying, but then Simmons walks in, it's like, oh no, she's fine, we'll fix her later. Or if you want to kill her, then kill her. If you don't want to lose the actress, then don't kill the character. You know, it's just stuff like that I found not annoying exactly, but it just felt cheap. Oh, then they killed Clark Gregg's character again, and then they brought him back as another new character for the final season. Like, just if you want to kill him, then just kill him off. Yeah, that's something I appreciate about Joss Whedon. You know, when one of his characters comes to the end of their story, that character goes away. Like, he doesn't get sentimental about killing people off. I guess Jed and Marissa were a little more sentimental about their characters, so they couldn't bring themselves to get rid of them, which... I mean, I understand that, but storytelling-wise, it just didn't feel like the right way to go to me. So, yeah, I kind of checked out of S.H.I.E.L.D. at that point. I did watch the last episode. I didn't really know a lot of what was going on. It was interesting. Um, yeah, I guess also the budget after season 5 was cut. Or was it season 4? I don't know. The budget in the final seasons was not what it was originally, and you could kind of tell there were like less action sequences and more long conversations in dimly lit hallways. It wasn't the same show really. I mean, the writing was always good typically. It just went 2 seasons too long in my opinion. All right. What are they going to do with Hush as Bruce Wayne? The whole point of him being Bruce was to fool Kate. Well, no. I mean, the whole point of him being Bruce was to infiltrate the Wayne building and get the kryptonite. I don't know how they're going to resolve that now. I suspect there may be just like a soft reboot happening. I guess we'll see. All right. That's about it, I think. Excuse me. Hope you're going to be okay on Tuesday. Please take time on the Batwoman Season 2 reviews. Well, I'm going to do my best to continue putting out the Batwoman reviews on Tuesday, which is going to be difficult because those things are just all consuming. Like I'll watch the episode when it airs, and then I'll spend several hours writing a script. Like I'll be up until like 3, 4 in the morning writing a script, and then I'll finish it on Monday. I shoot the video Monday night, and I spend all Tuesday editing it. Because those things just got longer and longer. I'm gonna, for the sake of my mental health, I like these season 2 reviews to be a little bit shorter. Like if they could not eclipse like 35 minutes, that'd be great. Because since I've been sick, recording videos has become more difficult for a couple of reasons. So. I mean, even when I was 100%, I mean, those things would just take hours and hours. Like, I'd be up until dawn Tuesday morning recording these things. That's how long they took. So, I mean, it's going to be harder now, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Just try to get rested up and cross my fingers, I guess. All right, Gravel Digger with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Get better, man. Here's a little something for all of the self-abuse you endured for us. Much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, I think we can call it at that point. Thank you so much to all our super chatters in the comments section. Murdoch, Manohar Rajan with not one but several super chats. Thank you so much, dude. John Wheeler, Dennis Ridolfi Jr. I hope I got your name right. Wow, Manohar Rajan with like 4 different super chats. That is amazing. Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, dude. And Gravel Digger also. Thank you to all of your super chats. It feels like I don't deserve it, but you may have justified my signing up for Disney Plus. So I will do my best to keep the content coming. Hopefully, I can get my health issues taken care of, and yeah, just keep the videos coming. I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second here, but thank you everyone for tuning in for the stream. We're going to keep these coming on Saturdays as long as WandaVision keeps dropping on Fridays, I think. Not sure if the Marvel Disney Plus schedule is going to continue to be on Fridays. Like, I don't know, like if when the next show starts up, I think they're going to be one after the other. So when the next show starts up, whatever that one is, I don't know if it'll still drop on Friday. I guess I'll make adjustments if and when that happens. But yeah, I guess we'll keep doing this on Friday for the time being. And again, Batwoman reviews should drop on Wednesday. Fingers crossed. Depending on how long they take me to make. And that'll hopefully leave enough time freed up to do a movie review or trailer reaction in there somewhere too, when I can squeeze those in. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's about it. Thank you everyone for sticking around to watch. Thank you to all our super chatters, and I will talk to you. Well, I guess I'll see you on Wednesday for the Batwoman review. Oh, God. I can't believe I'm about to do this again. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.